must be it right there. Anyway, a lot of these medicines, you obviously know, are for hospice patients. So it has to be done. So they do have to get them from different cities and stuff like that. And even if the pay is not great, it still helps. So I feel it'll come around. It's just part of life, living, and of course dying. It's just something that we go through. All right. My sister does this, well, she handles a lot of it. She's been a nurse most of her life, and a lot of nurses get involved in this kind of work, which is like the final stages, you know, of life, which is death. This beautiful house is right over here. Now we're headed back another 70 miles. We're gonna cross Lake Ray Hubbard, but I won't talk about Stanislavski and Lee Strasberg. I'll let you guys go to sleep. We'll go back and see Linda and Kitty. Okay, our trip back is 65 miles. We'll arrive in, it's gonna take about an hour and 10 minutes, 10:36 of the p.m. Totally not worth it, but
this route avoids construction.
But it avoids construction.
You are on the fastest route. You will arrive at
Nah, it's worth it. It's worth bringing medicine to someone that needs it. There's a joy in that too. I do want to say is I mentioned Dr. Strangelove in the first part of the vlog today, comparing it to maybe like my Grace is a version, Grace aka Werevlog is a version of Dr. Strangelove. I think Dr. Strangelove was a kind of a teaching thing. So Kubrick was a jester, just as Linklater's a jester, and a lot of filmmakers are jesters. They just use technology to jest. They're jesters. Even Scorsese, they're jesters. You know, the little bell ringing the bell. Just like Ingmar Bergman commented on the jester. You know, he had him in his stuff, in his movies, right? So Kubrick he had come up with this idea for a film. How he got away with it, I don't know. But he got away with a black and white film called Dr. Strangelove. I believe it was 1964. If I'm wrong about the date, I'll correct it later. But anyway, it was Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. You know, already he starts off with something like that, which is like something a jester would say. And he uses Peter Sellers, of course. I'm just looking at this traffic thing going, what in the world is this about? You couldn't see it, but I saw it. It's like this traffic. I'll just show you. Like, I was in the center there trying to turn them. Anyway, yeah, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, was what I was quoting earlier. And it's a great title for anything, really. A wonderful movie. I highly recommend it. Anyway, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb was basically another version of a book called Red Alert by Peter George, which he adapted that from the book with another writer, which will, you know, we're not going to go into a lot of detail, but that it was based on a novel called Red Alert, Dr. Strangelove. And it needed to be black and white, just like Schindler's List needed to be black and white, because it was kind of reflecting off some of the stock footage or footage that we have. And it's not necessarily stock footage, but it's important media footage that we have. It's used as stock footage, but there's media footage of what went on in Germany in the 1940s and all the way, you know. And even the important newsreel that they showed at the time to get the soldiers to go over there, because they didn't draft in World War II. They did not draft. Anyway, going back to Dr. Strangelove. Dr. Strangelove, I think, was black and white for a reason, because it wasn't being artsy, I don't think, as much as it was reflecting the way that people felt when they had to watch these movies about, like, running from the atomic bomb. If it was going to come, you would go over to, like, a little curb and hide your face in the curb, you know, and you would, you know, like a little turtle, you'd protect yourself, you know, from this bomb that was going to kill everybody. So Kubrick was like, okay, let's stop worrying, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. You know, it was a comment about what was going on at that time. I'm going this way. I'm going the wrong way. Look at that. Ultimately, I would probably say that Grace, aka Werevlog, is obviously a satirical dark comedy, werewolf comedy, about the vlogging phenomenon, for sure. That would be a safe bet to say, you know. And of course, an ex-rock star, a UFC fighter, a, you know, YouTuber, ex-minister from the UK that has a problem with Scotch whiskey, named Gerald Altman III. And then you have also a crazy postmodern hippie dropout John Blacksmith the hacker kind of guy, you know, slash Post Malone, even though he doesn't, you know, the character doesn't really have much of a rock star past, but Rainy Love does. She's an ex-rock star. You know, it's got these, like, bright characters that are very distinct. But I think ultimately it is a satirical comedy. Guys do a graveyard shift. I talked to one of them in there. I got some Rooster Booster and some gas, and he looked pretty happy. I was like, yeah, I do a graveyard shift, yeah. I was like, yeah, I did a graveyard shift once too for about a year. That's what I said to him. He's like a pretty nice guy though. Alright, so you can get a Rehab Monster Tea Lemonade, some macaroni and cheese. You can spread that joy at $4.49. It's a Monster and Classic mac and cheese. They even have an app. Nice little reverse zoom there. All the way from Georgia.
Do you know that they're like the chicken nuggets have specific shapes?
Stuff? Like it's like pink goo, right?
Yeah, which it might have been from Teletubbies, because that happens in Teletubbies
okay.
too. But no, do you know that like the chicken nuggets have specific shapes?
No.
Like they're obviously molded. So there's the boot.
Right. They're
There's
shaped.
the boot.
Oh my gosh.
So the lady is trying to convince people that McDonald's is great and that she loves chicken McNuggets, but she didn't make it a comment where if someone was eating chicken, like regular chicken, let's say like organic chicken all their life, and then they had a chicken McNugget, they would probably think that it was not good, and they're right, because McDonald's is not good for you.
It's crazy. Like literally McDonald's has like patents on the shapes of their chicken nuggets, I'm pretty sure. which is crazy. Like,
Yes.
I need to.
And also, it's like TCU girls, you know, pretending that they're, you know, on a radio show.
Fries are so good.
Now I want McDonald's.
The McDonald's here at TCU closes way too early. Let me just say that.
I know, they close at like 8
If you have any
p.m.
authority at the McDonald's here, let
The
it be 20.
drive-thru's open till 12.
Well, do you know why it's not 24 hours anymore?
Why?
COVID.
What?
Too many people were going to McDonald's at night at like 3 a.m.
But I mean, that's like where college
But that's
memories
where
are
you
made.
go.
That's where you go.
TCU McDonald's, please be 24 hours again. I will literally like.
They could definitely put it on their resume, and their voices do carry. They resonate, so they're pretty funny. Oops. What was that? Hang on for a second. There we go.
And she always wants Whataburger after like a night out.
Now, Whataburger is a better thing. I'm more of a fan of Harmon Dobson's dream than I am the whole McDonald's scheme. But Whataburger I do support.
Friends don't, but she doesn't like In-N-Out, which is like
Yeah, I don't like In-N-Out.
In-N-Out. And so I was like, so we were trying to find like a common ground. We're like, oh, McDonald's. Like, we both love McDonald's. Let's go.
It's so like
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut here.
unfortunate for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming back.
Thanks for
And
having
to my
me.
listeners, I won't be here next Monday. You're not gonna get a week break from me because I'm going home for Thanksgiving. And all my listeners, please join us in 2 weeks for another true crime story when we have another special guest joining us. And this has been Club Crime.
So I'm assuming Club Crime is a TCU broadcast coming off the podcast being aired on 88.7 around like, you know, maybe 10:30 p.m. They're all really, really bright and interesting, and entertaining, and lots of energy. But I've been listening to 88.7. You lose the contact once you get around Dallas. It just turns to fuzz. So it's mostly a Fort Worth. And here's some fun facts. It's from TCU, but Fort Worth had one of the first independent television stations. When television first took off, it was experimental and it took off in Fort Worth. That's what I heard. One of the very first independent television stations was broadcast out of Fort Worth, Texas. True story. Do the research. This area is always just under construction, and that bridge back there, they haven't finished it in like a year. I call it the Apocalypse Now homage bridge or whatever, because you drive under. I don't want to get into it. You drive under it, and it's got like this bridge that it's like never finished. Was it the Da Nang Bridge or something? I'd have to rewatch Apocalypse Now, Francis Ford Coppola's masterpiece, where he goes in front of the media and says, "This is not a film about Vietnam. This is Vietnam. We were over there, we had too much money." That speech is great. Because he was so convinced, when he made Apocalypse Now. It was very hard for him. It was a hard moment in Francis' life. I know he's working now as a filmmaker. He's working with Adam Driver out in New York and a bunch of other people. Metropolis. Can't wait. It's amazing. I did not get to go into the theater to see Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese. I did not get to. I just financially just could not do. I know I'll hopefully listen. When Irishman came out, I made myself go. And I saw it. I saw it twice. I saw it once in the theater, and then I saw it once in Netflix. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I was by myself when this was going on. I saw it twice in the movie theater, and I was like in the late 40s. It was late 40s, like 46 or something. I enjoyed it so much, I actually went back and bought another ticket and saw it again. I even took photos. I took photos when I was sitting in the theater. I was taking photos of the screen, of the Kung Fu segment with Bruce Lee. But, I just didn't get to do it. I didn't get to go in and see it. It looks like a beautiful, well-made film. I want to watch Silence tonight. I'm not going to vlog Silence like I vlogged some movies like I did with Barry Lyndon. Barry Lyndon makes sense. That one makes sense to vlog. Go off and vlog Barry Lyndon, but don't, pause it for still frames. It is freaking amazing. It is an amazing movie how he made these people look like they were in a painting. But yeah, I'm gonna have to see. Everyone's talking about Killers of the Flower Moon, and I'm actually, I feel shame. I'm sorry. I'm actually apologizing to Martin Scorsese. I'm apologizing to Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio. I apologize. I just not gonna be able to see it. It's just, you know, budget-wise and everything that's happened to me, every penny counts. I'm just gonna have to hear about it, read about it, watch the reviews about it, and eventually maybe one day I'll be able to see it. It's an important film, I'm sure. But I am gonna watch Silence tonight between exports. I may even skip Adam the Woo. I don't know. I usually at least watch either half of Adam the Woo's vlog, or at least, you know, I'll go through the whole thing depending on what I have to eat. What I usually do is I fix a little snack, and then I sit down, I turn on Adam the Woo, and I begin eating. It just fits. But I may watch one of his vlogs. I usually go through Grim Life Collective. I go through one of their vlogs. I used to go through the Carpetbagger until we got in the whole email dispute. But Carpetbagger's vlogging now, right now, with Adam the Woo, Jacob the Carpetbagger. So I get to watch kind of him do his, you know, he's kind of an actor, Jacob is. But I'll, you know, like I said, I go through Adam the Woo. It's usually 20 to 30 minutes, either Walt Disney World or Backroads, you know, or Comic-Cons or Oddities. He's doing Oddities with Jacob the Carpetbagger, some kind of convention. I get through that. It kind of gets my head on straight. And then I sometimes will go through Grim Life Collective, so I'll watch one of theirs. Michael and Jessica do their thing. And then sometimes I'll do Cash Jordan. I like to watch Cash Jordan sell stuff. You know, he talks about New York and real estate. And then sometimes, back in the day, I used to watch Matty Van Halen, and I haven't really checked in with him. Every once in a while, if I'm eating soup, no, I'm just joking about this, but every once in a while, if I'm eating some comfort food, I'll throw on some Breck Roll, you know, Escaping the Mouse. And then when I'm really kind of curious, I'll throw on Jordan the Lion, watch one of his genius vlogs about pop culture, and then, or filming locations. And then also, I'll watch every once in a while, Scott. Well, now I watch Scott on Tape daily. I always, if Scott on Tape's doing something, boom, I watch it. He's my reporter. He did something recently. I think it was Sandlot. Did a Sandlot vlog with a friend. Very fun. These guys are fun to watch. You have to do this. It's like therapy. There's Fort Worth. And then I'll look at the script and go, no. I don't know if I'm going to be crafting the song right now. I don't know if I'm going to really. I really have no like plans. I have no idea. I know that I'll have to edit. Oh, I see. Very funny. So you're vlogging me as I'm vlogging you. Where's Kitty? There he is. Yeah, Roadie kills. So, gonna make the interview.
Dirty shoes.
I know there's dirty shoes in life. Yes, I know, Kitty. I know. Looks like pizza. I got to do the editing. So, all I see is a light, sweetie. Are you really vlogging me? I want to look. I want to look on the other end. Let me say something. You better make use of that. And you're vlogging the wrong direction. You're doing... Really, Shelly, it's very fake when you do that. When you jump back like that. I don't believe it at all. Listen, I'm telling you, you don't want to film in that way right there, sweetie.
I do whatever way I want.
What you're doing is what's called portrait. You want to do landscape. Yeah, you have to. What you do is turn it off like this. Let it readjust itself. It readjusted. See, the timer's at the top.
Why are you out of breath?
Now you're very Kubrick. I'm acting like Kubrick in The Shining, talking to Shelley Duvall. It's not very. I'm telling you, it's not.
Say hi to Kitty. He missed you.
It's kind of fake, sweetie. Okay, it's not. Yes, that's the right way to do it. Very good, Shelley. You know, Shelley Duvall lives in Texas. Look at this kitty. Look at this kitty. Are we having a cat commercial? What's going on? Nice 2-point lighting. We got light coming from here and from here. Look at this. Now we got 3-point lighting. Look, watch the shadow go away. Da-da! It actually works. I learned that at NYU. We've got 3-point lighting, light source here, a light source here, and a light source here, and the shadow goes away. Well, you can still see it over there, but you got to use also the strength of light counts too. All right, we're gonna cut here.
Screamin' Sicilian.
Screamin' Sicilian? What brand?
Screamin' Sicilian.
Oh, okay, this brand. Screamin'. Oh, 50% off. Good, good. Okay, this looks good. Get some ranch and we'll get to town. Ready? And cut.